Mr. President, I rise today to honor my colleague Chuck Grassley on the occasion, the milestone of his 11,000th vote. Senator Grassley has cast more than 6,400 consecutive votes, more consecutive votes than any senator currently holding office here in the Senate. It's truly a remarkable accomplishment that speaks to his dedication. And I know he considers it a sign of respect for his constituents and for the Senate. Senator Grassley is a farmer, assembly line worker who served in the Iowa State Legislature. He was elected to the House of Representatives here in Washington in 1974 and to the Senate in 1980. Senator Grassley learned the value of hard work early on the family farm. Today his son runs that farm, but Chuck still dedicates himself to working on the farm on many occasions. And then after that comes back to Washington. As ranking member of the Judiciary Committee and past chairman of the Finance Committee, Senator Grassley also takes his constitutional oversight responsibilities very, very serious. He has long worked to make the judicial branch more open and transparent. To that end, he sponsored a bill to allow cameras in the courtroom and proposed creating the post of Inspector General. He's been among the most ardent protectors of whistleblowers. As a member of the Agriculture Committee, Senator Grassley brings real-world experience from his Iowa farm to be an advocate for American farmers in Washington. Even when Senator Grassley and I don't agree on issues, I believe we always have the greatest respect for each other. I know I do him, and I feel confident he does of me. I believe he's a principled, dedicated lawmaker and really a genuine person. One little side note, Mr. President. I came to the Senate and I was elected in 1986. So early in 1987, I gave my maiden speech here in the Senate. And it was on the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights, something I'd tried to accomplish in the House, but frankly, I didn't get to first base, and that's an understatement. They paid no attention to me. So when I came here, that was my speech, and I was way back there by the candy drawer and gave a speech on the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights. Presiding, as the presiding officer is now, was David Pryor from Arkansas. He was the chair of the subcommittee dealing with IRS and finance. Senator Grassley was listening to my speech in his office. Senator Pryor sent me a note when I finished that he had written while he was presiding, saying, "I really like your legislation. I want to work with you to get it passed." I was stunned. One of the senior members of the Senate was interested in what I had to say. In the House, I repeat, they wouldn't listen to me. I tried to talk to the chairman of that subcommittee. He wouldn't even do a meeting with me. I still remember his name. I'm not going to mention it here on the floor, but I remember it. And Senator Grassley contacted me and said, "I want to work on this legislation." And they worked with me. And my first year in the Senate, we passed the historic Taxpayers' Bill of Rights to make the taxpayer a little more equal to the tax collector. Really, it was landmark legislation. It would never have happened but for Senator Grassley. So I really admire what he's done for America in many different ways, but certainly in that manner.
Mr. President.
Republican leader.
Mr. President, our good friend from Iowa, Senator Grassley, has cast his 11,000th vote. Since the founding of the Republic, only 2,000 men and women have served in the Senate. Only 23 have cast more votes than Chuck Grassley. No other current senator has gone as long as he has without missing a single vote. He hadn't missed a vote in 19 years. This year, Senator Grassley marks 54 years of public service to the people of the Hawkeye State. While some members of Congress have a tendency to lose touch with their constituents, Chuck Grassley has always worked hard to make sure he never did that. He has made it his business to stay connected to the folks back home by holding at least one town hall meeting a year in all of Iowa's 99 counties, and by responding to every letter, postcard, email, or phone call. And of course, we're all familiar with his tweets. Much like the senator himself, they're truly one of a kind. Senator Grassley also stays close to the land by working his family farm. He does that even while keeping up his duties here in Washington. He may be a U.S. senator, but he has always preferred to be known as a farmer from Butler County. Visitors to the Grassley farm say it's not uncommon to see Senator Grassley pulling a cell phone out from under his baseball cap while riding on his tractor. Over the years, Chuck Grassley has distinguished himself by his tenacity and his commitment to the public interest. His first major legislative achievement was the passage of the Federal False Claims Act, which over the years has saved taxpayers more than $17 billion. As chairman of the Finance Committee, he led bipartisan bills through Congress that cut taxes by $2 trillion, leaving more money in the pockets of hardworking Americans. Senator Grassley has a lot to be proud of in his career. He and Barbara are also rightly proud of their 58 years of marriage, their 5 children, and many, many grandchildren. He's been a farmer, a father, a government watchdog, a steward of the nation's finances. In short, he's a real statesman. The Senate would not be the same without him. And the nation, I firmly believe, would be a lot worse off without the remarkable service of Senator Chuck Grassley. Mr. President, I yield the floor.
Mr. President.
Senator from Vermont.
I just wanted to add my congratulations to my colleague from the state of Iowa, Mr. President.
Senator from Iowa.
I listened to both the speeches of our majority leader and the Republican leader. I just want to add my congratulations to my friend and longtime colleague, Senator Grassley, for reaching this milestone of 11,000 votes in the United States Senate, and for his long service to our state of Iowa and to our nation. Senator Grassley and I were elected the same year, sworn in on the same day in January of 1975, although he preceded me to come to the Senate by 4 years. But I can say without any fear of contradiction that Senator Grassley and I have had a wonderful working relationship. Obviously, anyone who knows our records know that we don't always agree on things all the time. That's the way things ought to be around. We have good debates, but we've always been friends. And the one thing I also know is that we've always worked together for the betterment of our state of Iowa. I think politics tends to end at that doorstep, and when it comes to Iowa and what's good for our state, we've always worked very closely. We've always had a great camaraderie. Our staffs have worked together very closely over the years. And so again, I just want to commend the senior senator from the state of Iowa. I now have the distinction of being the most senior junior senator in the United States Senate. It used to be Fritz Hollings for years. Now I'm the most senior junior senator, and I couldn't ask for a better colleague and a better friend on that side of the aisle and from the state of Iowa than Senator Chuck Grassley. And again, I just want to congratulate him on reaching this milestone.